If you're an arcade gamer that loving arcade racing game, like the Burnout Paradise has a lot to answer for. But taking the classic series open world criterion essentially upsold the concept of traditional races. Here are your cars, here are your tracks, learn to drive, the format to perfect the latter, at least in the eyes of major publishers. Ever since, virtually all big budget arcade racing games have been made in the shadow of Paradise, with most tracks consisting of lines draws across vast explorable maps. Hello, greetings everyone, and today in our YouTube channel Forza Horizon 5, almost the classic. Forza Horizon 5 crosses the finish line. The bar for open world racing has again been raised in so many different ways. A map of Mexico that's bigger, higher, and widely more varied than any Horizon game yet. A fresh change to the way the Horizon Festival itself is gradually constructed, which result is more one-off events deliberately designed to showcase Horizon 5 at its very best. Improved tools that allow us to build completely custom events that can be more or less indistinguishable from those crafted by developers themselves. As enormous visual upgrades, especially to lighting, tire smoke and a dust effect, hundreds and hundreds of new custom pods, rims and performance modes, and cars with more character than ever. Drastic sound improvements, better handling, more gradual preference and options, more inline activities. It is really incredible across the board. To understand just how big Forza Horizon 5 is, we have to briefly look at back in Forza Horizon 4, which is truly ballooned into an absolute colossus of a racing game back in 2018. Playground Games has taken the impeccable open-world racing of all the Horizon games to date, then stuffed in simulated seasons, a shared world multiplayer overall, and a shift in how the team told their mini-automotive stories. But that was day one. Playground then spent another 3 years cramming in even more things to do. The festival playlist there and the activities were available every week. The Eliminator Horizon very clever and effective take on bringing the Battle Royale format to a racing game. The Super 7 would come practicing custom-built racing, driving, and stand-based challenges made by others, plus create and sharp by their own. Forza Horizon premise, a festival that descends on loosely recreated real-world locations and takes it over the various racing events of dubious legality, remains as absurd as ever, when entirely superfluous story sequences prepared throughout. I have personally never been to Mexico, but I have a feeling most of the locals won't take too kindly to visitors causing wanton destruction while bombing around the streets in a Dodge Viper listening to Dua Lipa. On the other hand, Horizon 5 description of Mexico is only likely to drive interest in international tourism once such as things are broadly possible again. This is a beautiful game that shows off the country's diverse landscape in a spectacular fashion, from last forests to active volcanoes. Its predecessor made the most of the UK landscape, but it's hard to escape that feeling that Mexico is more appealing setting for a game like this. I don't think I can overstate the extent to which Forza Horizon 5 looks entirely out of control on the Xbox Series X. This is easily one of the most technically impressive games I have ever seen, with a huge improved lighting and stunning detail in the landscapes. You can run at 60 frames per second on Xbox Series S console or 30 FPS mode that further boosts for the graphical features. I personally find it hard to play racing games at 30 FPS, but each mode delivers a convincing presentation. Forza 5 is also an impressive test case for Microsoft cross-generation hardware strategy. I played the game for several hours on my Xbox One X and it doesn't feel compromised compared to anything else on the console. It's still a better looking game than the 3 and the 4th part, and it looks more or less the same as the Series X version of the 60 FPS mode, just running at half the frame rate. The One X is generally a machine designed for 4K 30 FPS games, and what you get with Horizon 5. Would the Series X game have looked ever better if didn't have to run the Xbox One consoles? Maybe, but it's hard to complain about the performance on either platform. That said, Forza Horizon 5 has come a little hot. During the review period in early access launch, I've noticed that a few issues on the various hardware, from graphical glitches to AI opponents that disappear completely. Server says has been spotty, and the PC version was almost unplayable for me due to constant controller disconnection errors. They will hopefully get ironed, but I won't be happy about the server problems. In particular, I paid $100 for the premium version of the game that includes an early access. I wouldn't normally spend as much time on the technical elements of the game reviving it, but I think it's more relevant with the Forza Horizon 5 than most the others. Last night I fired up Forza Horizon 3 for a couple of hours, which previously stood as my favorite game this series. Two things immediately struck me: it doesn't look anywhere near as good as I remember it, and it also almost exactly the same as Forza Game 5, right down to the near identical I/O. Forza Horizon 5 is just another Forza Horizon, yes, but it's a beautiful one with an incredible setting, and that's enough to make it best of the series. If you have any interest whatsoever in driving fast cars, I highly recommend it. All the links will be in description. Peace.